Howdy everybody, I'm James, this is Kelly.
Hi everyone.
Today Kelly drives a boom lift. We're having fun getting our bearings here. The key to driving this lift is that, as I was telling Kelly earlier, is to not go too fast.
Yeah.
Because we're at the end of a very, could be a long catapult, and that could send us flying, so we don't want to do that.
And getting my right and left correct is
Yeah, getting lined up, that's tricky.
But I'm pretty good with the horse trailer.
And if you need to get a better view, you can always lift yourself up a little bit. Of course, being mindful of the trees and whatnot.
I am being mindful of the trees and being mindful of a lot of things.
Looks like you got plenty of room on the left. You're looking good, you're looking good.
Now should I lower it when we go under this tree?
No, we'll be all right. I think we'll clear okay.
So really, the reason I'm doing this is that I'm watching that one tire, which has a wider wheelbase than the other.
Sure.
The reason I'm doing this is to kind of dispel the mystique of your badassness.
Please, I'm not that special.
Now what I know I can do is do this.
Yeah, that lets us down, absolutely.
Gertie is looking at me. There's a lot to pay attention to, like this thing over.
There is. And then, of course, once we get up closer, we got to pay attention to power lines and all kinds of stuff. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do is make contact with one of those.
And I have my helmet on. And I have my helmet on not for this reason.
Right.
But because I was just on a horse.
That's right.
Okay, so I want it, I want it right underneath.
Yeah, we can probably scoot it in and just kind of run it parallel, up along the fence there. And
You know, this is a really nice one, I can tell. It's not
it is
old,
nice.
Because it really...
The other one had a little pull-up thing on the joystick that I had to pull, so you had to be multi-coordinated. It wasn't ideal, but if anybody from Genie is listening, Genie makes the best lifts out there, and we accept donations.
You know, I have been giving shout-outs to various companies for a couple years now. I haven't...
Nothing? Not crickets? Oh, interesting. There is cowboy crickets here in Montana. They make cricket cookies, chocolate cricket cookies or whatever.
Yeah, and you know, I might let you... Although I'm doing okay. I'm not going to be close enough though. When I taught elementary school, for one thing, we got dried crickets, and you can get them jalapeno, you can get them all kinds of flavorings, and the good thing about that, well, they have no taste.
Right.
So it's kind of like
Don't they
getting
taste like
Cheetos.
dust or something? They're kind of like a...
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take over and get us close. And let me out.
All right. Yeah. Not everybody can just play with this thing all day, right?
It's one of the perks of the job.
That's right.
It really does have an incredibly small turning radius.
Yeah, I can turn pretty good.
If you hit that post again, you can fix it again.
See how quick that can go? I mean,
Huh?
see how quick that can go? I mean, it could get out of control in a hurry.
Always drive sober, folks, when you're doing your lift.
Yeah. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it kind of right in there, and then I can get up right under that camera.
Yeah. I was going to suggest that. This is fun, everyone. Come to Dunrovin. And I'm sure there's some liability insurance issues on this. I don't know.
You never find out unless you need it. So most of my work today is actually going to be on this side of the nest. Because we are putting up a new feeding station, and it's actually a new design. Guess you want to come down, don't you?
Come down. I do want to get out, don't you?
Yeah, we kind of have to get my parts and pieces and whatever else.
Feeding station here and can I turn it off?
Yeah, big button. Bam! There it goes.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I love stuff. I don't need the door. I love stuff like that.
So yeah, the big thing today is, of course, cleaning the cams. We do that twice a year. But instead of putting the feeding station on the perch, we're going to put the feeding station on this side. We're going to build a new perch that cantilevers off.
I see.
So I've got half of it built, but I need to go get some measurements today, and I'll probably have to get parts and come back tomorrow, which I'd rather do anyway, because tomorrow is going to be 100 times nicer than today.
Is it?
You know, we picked
100 times.
Well, almost.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be 60 instead of 40, so you know.
That's perfect.
And sunny instead of cloudy. And
no, I don't know if there's a secret. So anyway, I saw G3 yesterday.
yeah.
A couple friends.
Yeah, we're
Now,
half.
is that a secret?
Well, no, I mean, everything's on camera, technically, so there's no secrets around here.
But the bench is going to be improved.
It will be, and it's close to being improved. I'll have to move that camera probably at some point. And if anybody was tuned in yesterday, they got a little bit of preview of the pasture camera.
Yes.
So that was fun. But yeah, we got a lot of big changes happening in the next couple weeks.
And I have a
exciting.
suggestion.
Oh, I'm all ears.
I know you are. So on the bench, everyone, all the feeders are going to go up and down simultaneously
Yeah,
with a big crank.
yeah.
Now, my big plan is, why doesn't the crank be like a music box or like an monkey organ grinder? And every time we crank the feeders up and down, ding, ding, there's a music that goes. I actually thought AC/DC would be kind of nice.
Believe it or not, I have the technology to pull that off.
Did you hear that? Did you hear it? I'm going to shut this just for safety.
I'm going to bring my car in, so yeah, I'll shut it when I do that.
I do think that we should have music involved with the crank. Like a player piano, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Not bad. Or I do have an audio file that I can put on a trigger, and it'll say abracadabra. It's ridiculous.
I think we should, everyone. So pipe in that, yes, Ranch Manager Kelly has the genius idea. And you know what we could do? We could actually change the music file periodically.
Sure.
Just to kind of keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents.
Okay. These are good 2 cents. I'll have to do some testing. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks for the lesson.
For nothing. All right, everybody. Let's see. We're about to head up and clean the Nest camera. Some of you may have noticed that I changed the view from our typical motorized Nest camera to the backup Nest camera. And that's because, as I explained earlier, when I remove the dome of the PTZ camera, it shuts the camera off. So, all right, we're gonna go up and check this out. See what we can find here. Okay, I like that. All right, I am at the nest, and I'll say hello everybody in the backup nest cam here. We're gonna go ahead and take the dome off of the nest cam, and let me tell you, from up here, it looks really dirty. So I'm gonna try to clean this up a little bit. Just wipe off some of the excess residue. And then we'll take things off. As far as the nest cam goes, it actually looks pretty good. I will say that the infrared light needs some cleaning as well, so it might brighten things up a bit. And I need to put some of these plastic bird spikes up on top of it, because as we saw earlier this year, we were getting the osprey standing on top of this thing, which I was not terribly happy about, to be honest with you. So we're going to try to eliminate that from the equation. So whenever you do overhead work, there are 3 rules. First rule is don't drop anything. The second rule is don't drop anything. And the third rule is, any guesses? Don't drop anything. So I'm paying attention to my tools here and doing my best to not let go of anything before I just absolutely want to. And we've got the dome pulled off. The Nest camera has automatically shut itself off. And now we can clean this up. And we'll use our soap and distilled water solution. Spray that down. Let it do its magic. And you can't see this part of the process too well, but if you're on the ranch cam, you'll probably see a little bit more of the action. All right, clean the inside of this first, wipe it down a little bit. The wind is supposed to pick up here a little bit this afternoon, so I'm trying to get things wrapped up here earlier in the day, and then try to get a parts list put together for tomorrow, and I'll come back and do a little bit more work with the feeding station. But today I want to get the cameras cleaned, and then we'll go ahead and take some measurements for the new perch and feeding station scenario. And when the weather's a little bit warmer and nicer, tomorrow, probably about this same time, sometime around between 10 and noon, we'll get rolling on our full feeding station deployment. Now, if you were tuning in this last spring. Was it spring? I think it was spring, or was it last year? Maybe it was last, I think it was spring. It's all running together. We put up this new camera as a backup camera because we were having some problems this winter with the PTZ camera, and it really needed to be replaced. And so we were having troubles with it shutting off and not turning back on, and it was just not a good situation. So we went ahead and replaced the PTZ dome camera, but we also, just as a backup before the Osprey got here, we wanted to put up a fixed camera. And so it is not motorized in the same way that our dome cameras are motorized. It does have a motor in it for zoom. It can zoom in and out a little bit, but it can't move side to side. So we fixed it in a location that allowed good viewing of the nest and good peripheral viewing. And we've used that a few times, like we're using it today, just as a backup when this camera is in service or something like that. But it actually provides a really great picture, and we've been pretty happy with it. So as a backup camera, it's pretty solid. The other nice thing about this particular backup camera that we've got is that it includes its own infrared light built into the camera. So it serves as a backup, not only as a camera, but also as an infrared light source. So if the infrared light here above the cameras at the nest goes bad, we still have a backup infrared light source, which is very handy. Because when you've got stuff installed outside in Montana, 60 feet in the air, well, you can never have too many backups. Now this infrared light is actually different than the other infrared lights that we've got around the ranch. The infrared light at the bench, and then the infrared lights in the corral area are all much larger LED panels. The infrared light down at the river is also built into the camera, so that as the camera moves, the infrared light moves with it, and you can see what's going on. We don't have that feature here at the nest. If the camera moves, the infrared light does not necessarily move with it. So you will lose night vision once you move the camera, unless there's a source of light somewhere else. Now, the great thing about infrared light with this is it allows us to see at night, but we can only see black and white because infrared light does not broadcast the full spectrum of color. It's in the infrared frequency range. So you get limited color, but trade-off is you can actually still see. That's what they use for all the wildlife cams, even some of the TV programs you see where they're following lions or buffalo or cheetahs at night. Those are all infrared lights. On occasion you'll see where they use a spotlight too, but okay, so right now it's starting to sprinkle. I've got to work fast because I don't want to get any water drops in this camera on the inside of the lens. I don't mind if they're on the outside, I just don't want them on the inside. And I didn't prepare fast enough because I didn't have my screwdriver in my pocket, so I had to start over again. So let me wipe this out, make sure I don't have any smudges. Get a different towel here. Okay. And there we go. Nope, there's a water droplet that got on the lens. See, this is real tricky when it's sprinkling. The nice thing is if we do get a little drop of something inside, it's not going to be a major problem because we do have a heater in here and it'll dry things off. But if we can avoid it, we do. These are tightened up. Here's another interesting little tidbit about these cameras. So you can actually hear it if you listen closely, but the cameras do have a built-in heater. They also have a built-in fan or blower that blows the warm air around, and that fan is located immediately behind the lens. In fact, as I'm looking behind the camera right now, I can see it. And nice thing is, it makes a little bit of noise that you can pick up on the microphones, but it is useful as a defrost and just to move that heat all the way around the inside of this camera. Okay. I think we're pretty well cleaned up there. And of course it will start sprinkling and we'll have all kinds of stuff to fuss around with once we get that finished off, of course. But at least it's clean. All right, I'm gonna go down and we'll grab some more of these little bird bee gone spikes, and I'm gonna see if I can affix those to the top of this infrared light. So that we don't get birds hanging out on top of it. Because what happens is they come and hang out and line up on it, and then all of a sudden they're shaking the pole. Probably not as aggressive as I'm shaking the pole right now, but I'm doing it on purpose. Alright, that's clean. And now I'm gonna clean off the backup cam lens. And we have a little, boy, I keep moving that, I need to tighten it up. We have a little bit of a kind of a sun and rain shield guard on this camera. It seems to have done a pretty good job. Okay. That's good. Let's see here. Let me grab the small Allen wrench here and tighten that up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and head back down. So I'll head back down. I'll grab some more material here and then go back into position and put up a few pieces up on top, and then I'll come back and try to get some measurements put together for this new feeding station. Mess of birds hanging out here, waiting, some of them patiently, for their new feeding station to arrive. So I'm sure they're ready for it about as much as you are. So we'll get this remedied here for sure by tomorrow, and should have some fun feeding activity going on. It'll be great. We're looking forward to it. Fine for a bird that weighs less than 10 pounds, but when we've put the feeding station on the perch in past years, I think just the weight of the bird seed and the up and down action every day just sort of loosens up